What's up guys, this is John from Motoslavin. On today's video we're going to be installing this here Healtech Quickshifter kit. We're going to be installing it on this 2008 DRZ 400SM. This bike is completely built with all the goodies you'd want on a DRZ 400. So this is going to be pretty exciting to use and we're just going to jump right into it, so let's get started. Okay guys, so we're over here at the bench now. So I'm going to open this up and show you everything that comes with this kit. It does come with everything you need. I have this on my DRZ 400 at home. This is the IQSE-W2. It is for the DRZ 400SM. So, every bike uses a different quick shifter, so make sure you purchase the one for your bike. Let's just jump right into this now. Open this up. Let's pull some of this stuff out here. Get rid of this. So this is where all the good stuff happens, right here. Pretty simple. You get some Velcro, double-sided there. It sticks very well. I haven't had any issues on my bike, and it's been mounted for a year. Plenty of use. I almost can't help it. I use it non-stop and never turn it off. So here's this here. I have to rip this. Here is the sensor that you will fasten to your shifter. It's just through bolted. They give you the hardware for that. It's pre-Loctited. So when I say it is ready to go, it is ready to go. You got directions here, which they're very good directions. If you follow them thoroughly, you'll figure it out one way or another. Hopefully this video will just make things a little bit easier. Maybe help your confidence on installing it if you are a beginner. This isn't, overwhelming by any means. I know wiring can sometimes make people a little nervous, but so we have, these are like crimp connections. You put the wire in and then the one you're trying to jump, put it in there, squeeze it with a pair of pliers. Those work great if you use them properly. You have here the wiring kit, the harness, which plug into that and this. This is what you'll be wiring into the bike. So here's a better view of the module where the magic happens. Pretty small, if you look, size of my hand. It fits right in my palm. Nice harness here. Very good quality. Everything's heat shrinked, sealed off from the elements, which is great. Here is the hardware for the shifter sensor. There. Here's the sensor itself. Hopefully that's a good shot for you guys. Comes with zip ties, 2 different sizes, which is great. And here are those connections. Now you can choose if you prefer to solder your connections in, have at it. It is a great method. These do work really good, especially if you use them correctly. Just get a good bite. They have some dielectric grease in there, which will help corrosion and keep your electrical contact. I like to sometimes throw a zip tie around those too, so they don't come loose on you over time. These do work great. You shouldn't have any problems with them. Here is the user's guide. We got the install guide here. You get everything you need. And this is the install guide for the harness kit. And it tells you everything you need to know. On top of it, we'll be filming this video for you to make things even easier. So we're going to move over to the bike and show you everything you need to know. And we'll make this a cool, fun process. Okay, so in certain applications, if you're running a 12 bar, you may need to remove that in order to get this side of your plastics off. When you remove this, you want to just pull out and come forward. You want to locate this plug here and remove that. So you want to take your harness here for the Healtech Quickshifter, and you want to run this before you crimp anything down. This will give you kind of some free range to figure out where you want to put things. And remember, you don't have to route it the way I am. You can route it whatever way makes you comfortable or where you want things. But I have found this is where it works best for me. Okay, so here's the other end of the harness. You've got your ground here. You want to take the ground and your red wire and set it to the side for a moment. We want to locate the green, and we are going to tap that into this harness here, which goes down to your pickup coil. So I have already went ahead and tapped this one to the green, and I'm going to show you guys how to connect it to the blue. And it is the same way with both of these wires, or in this case, most of the wiring for this Healtech Quickshifter kit. So after you've located both of your green wires, just remember that polarity doesn't matter. You can connect these to either or, and it's still going to function the way it's intended to. So you want to take both of these clips here, you get your little metal one, and when you do this, it's best to stagger your clips. You don't want them next to each other because then you're going to have a big bulky harness. So you're going to want to take this one here, and you go through here like that, and kind of come down. Now you see how I'm shooting these to be next to each other? That's what you want to do. That way you can tighten this up, cinch it up, and it won't be bulky. So I just fed the green wire, and it butted up in there. You'll see it go through the dielectric grease. And then you take your little clip here. Careful not to drop it, which this might be a little tough. Fish that down in there. Okay, so before you go ahead and cinch anything down, triple check to make sure everything's where you want it to be. So I got that there. I've got that wire fully in there. Make sure your green is seated properly and kind of push with your thumb. Get some pressure on that. And you want to take a set of needle noses or some pliers. Come back here. Again, make sure everything's seated where you want it to be. It's important you do so. You want a full connection. You just want to kind of crimp that down. Might be good to come at it at a couple angles. There we go. That was nice. Okay, so perfect. So that's nice crimped in there. We have full contact between both wires. They're seated properly. Now what you want to do is take this. See that first clip? That kind of closed off the blue wire. You come back and then you want to clip that. And as you can see, we're staggered. We don't have a big bulky mess. And you get your two green. Again, it doesn't matter which goes where, just as long as it's connected to your pickup coil lines. Next, you want to locate your taillight wiring harness, which is right here in this case. Disconnect that. My 2014 DRZ is slightly different, the harness here, because it's a little bit bigger. But this is a pretty easy step. You want to get a meter, something like this. You can get them very cheap at Harbor Freight, Amazon. You don't need a fancy one. Just if you want to make sure you have the right connections here, I would suggest picking something like this up. Or try to search around on some DRZ forums and you might be able to find what you need there. So I am just grounding out one end here. And when Chris turns the key on, we have a constant 12 volts. Now, if you see, I come over to this pin, which is going to be the white and black wire. You only will have 12 volts when he hits the brakes, as you can see. So you do not want to tap into that wire. You're going to want to tap into the middle wire here, which I believe is green. It's a little dirty, so it's hard to tell. But the green wire in the middle, that's going to be your 12 volt constant source, and that's the one you want to tap into for power. Okay, so I like to give myself a little bit more working room here, so I'm going to pull a harness through. Normally, I would actually like to tap onto this side of the harness, which is a lot easier to replace if you ever needed to. But in this case, it has been tampered with by a previous owner, so we're going to leave that as is. I don't want to open up any cans of worms here, and we're going to move down and tap on the bike harness side. So you want to locate your red wire from the Healtech harness, and I'm going to fish it under this way since that's the way I'll be going back with this harness. And it's the same process. You grab that middle one, in this case for the 2008. They should all be relatively the same as long as you just locate that constant 12 volt power source. There's many places where you can tap off of that, but this is where I prefer to do it. So you want to take your wire tap. See that there? That's nice and seated. Grab your red power wire. You're going to slide that in this hole down at the end there. So make sure that is seated correctly. Again, going to stress that you don't want this breaking connection when you're using it or coming loose and causing you headache. So just make sure. Okay, so again, seated, nice. Get some pressure with your fingers. I'm gonna grab some needle nose pliers. You're going to make sure you're not grabbing any wires underneath and pinching those. So nice, just like that. That little click, so satisfying. Then you're gonna come here, see that? Another nice click, and another. So now you're tapped into a 12 volt constant, and now your module will get power when you power it up. So you're gonna wanna take this, put it back under where it was, and plug it back in. Just like that, it comes off. Now, make sure you sneak this somewhere where it's not going to get pinched by your seat or some plastics or anything like that. Luckily, there's plenty of spaces. We're going to actually come back. We'll go through this spot here where the original harness goes through. Make sure you're not overlapping any of the other wires. Make your life a little harder. And then we are going to disconnect the negative here. I'm going to slide that under without making contact with any positive post, just in case. Now I'm actually going to go under the original connection here. Now Chris has a few other accessories on this bike, and that's why you're seeing a little pile of terminals here, but I find it best just to go right to the negative post, and I'm pretty sure that's what the directions call for Healtech anyways, but the ground is a ground. Now hopefully this is actually a long enough screw here. Otherwise we might have to get creative. Now am I tightening? Yes, all right, we're good. They're nice and tight. All right, so now I'm gonna plug up this harness right here. Nice click, it's good. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to clean this wiring up. Everybody has their own preference on how they like to do that, and that depends on how you route it, and we will cut back when that's done. Okay, so you want to clean your surface well. In this case, we are going to put the module on the side of the air box. There's plenty of space between this and the side shroud, and it is far enough away from heat for me to feel comfortable putting it here. It's out of the weather. It's just in general a good spot to put it. And it hides it very well. You'll never know it's even there. So after I just wiped off some of the dirt, I'm going to take an alcohol wipe to really clean this so that this adheres well. You don't want this thing coming loose and flopping around when you're out there quick shifting, do you? So we'll clean this. There we go. Yeah, see, look at that. All that dirt that just came right off. And we're going to take another one after that dries. Or maybe not. Take another one and we will clean it even more. What do we got? Looking better. So that's probably good enough. Because that's transferred to the wipe. A new microfiber. We'll just wipe that down just to get rid of any residual and dry it up. Yeah, see, even still, there's a little, you probably can't see it on camera, but there's a little bit of dirt there. Should be good now. I'm going to take a quick shifter. I'm going to leave the Velcro attached. That way I know exactly where to put it. That's where it's going. So up this way towards the left of the air box is a little bit more clearance. The closer you go towards the right, the tighter it gets with your shroud. So I'm going to stick this up here, right about there. As you can see, we got some protection here. And some space away from the exhaust. So I feel really good about putting it here. Like I said, mine's been mounted here for over a year now, and I've had no issues with it. So we're probably good. And there you go. Now you get your Velcro. And then it's right there. So just for you guys out there that are curious, I kind of coil the wires around the module. And then just go ahead and plug her in. Make sure it's all the way seated and clicked. You don't want any moisture getting in there. And kind of just tuck it up right there and you should be good. We got one more plug that is going to be the sensor for the shifter. So we'll actually go jump on that now. We went ahead and removed the cover here for the sprocket just to give you guys a better visual of this installation. So we are actually going to go down here and remove this bolt for the shift lever. This is an 8mm. And you're going to want to remove it all the way because the bolt that the sensor, the Healtech shifter kit comes with is longer to compensate for the width of the sensor itself. So now we're going to grab the sensor. That's here. It's a cool little piece, honestly. It's very sensitive. At least that's what I found on my bike. Here is the sensor for the Healtech Quickshifter kit. You want to tighten this down to 6 Newton meters or 53.1 inch-pounds. And that's crucial. This is very sensitive here. And you want to make sure you torque it down to spec. You don't want to disregard those instructions. So we'll just move right to that, and I'm going to show you where and how I route it. Luckily, we have wiring that exists here already. As you can see, it comes up, and it goes right up to where we want it to go. So make sure you use both washers there. It does come with a spacer if you have a recessed shifter. In this case, we don't need the spacer, so you remove it, stack your washers. You do one washer, then you do your sensor, and then you want to put the other washer on top. You're just pretty much making a sandwich out of it, just like that. You want to come in here, you untangle these wires. socket. It's kind of tough. Try not to block the camera. Oh, nice. It's actually not that size. Looks like a 10 mil. This one handy as one. Okay. So you want to take a 10 millimeter, and you go ahead and tighten that down. Now the instructions say not to rotate the body of the sensor. It can be damaged. So keep that in mind. Now what I did with my bike at home, my DRZ, kind of snuck that back right there so it's not in the way. And we're gonna move over to the torque wrench now. I'm gonna torque it a spec. Jesus, I look at the bike and I get greasy. All right, let's go. So you want to kind of hold it if you can. Oop. We're not tight yet. Get it into place wherever you want it. Tighten it up. Make sure it doesn't turn while you're tightening it. Just kind of hold it right there. All right, it's torqued down. Cool. So you see I tucked that wire up. I angled it to be able to go behind the shifter. Just be wary of where this wire lands. You got your moving parts here in your guard, and you don't want the shifter to be going up and down and rubbing against the wire. Eventually you will get a break and you'll have some problems. So I'm going to route this up, and I'll show you guys where I did it when I'm done. And I'm just going to use quite a bit of zip ties to follow along, just to make sure this really stays in place. And remember, don't pull this tight. You don't want to do that because you want some free play. So give yourself some slack down here, but not too much where it can get caught up on something you don't want it to. Just keep that in mind. Okay, we are at the point where the whole kit is installed. What you want to do is turn your key forward. For demonstration, I'll turn it forward. You'll see the little indicator light, red. It should turn green when the bike is running. And if it turns green when the bike is running, you know you wired everything correctly and it should work as intended. Because we're in a garage and the door's closed, we're not going to start up the bike right now. But we are going to put it back together in reverse of how it came apart. And we will get to that now, and we'll cover anything else. Okay guys, so I really hope you enjoyed that installation video, and I hope it helped you install your Healtech Quickshifter kit. If you have any questions, please let us know down in the comments below. We'll do our best to help you out. Get out there, enjoy the Healtech Quickshifter kit, ride safe, and we'll see you next time.